Tragedy in South Florida. It's a race against time to find any survivors in this pile of rubble. A high-rise condo complex partially collapsed overnight while people were sleeping. Surveillance video captured it. The collapse happened in two parts, the middle section, then the tower on the right. One of the first images that emerged, a child being pulled from the rubble. The man who helped save him spoke about those moments.
Then I saw an arm sticking out of the wreckage. And he was screaming, can you see me, and whatnot. So we started to kind of climb up to him, to try and see if we could get him free.
Now survivors are in a shelter with just the clothes on their backs, but thankful to be alive.
Knowing what it looked like outside my door, I thought that any minute we could be that same pile of rubble.
President Biden spoke today saying once Governor DeSantis declares an emergency, the federal government is standing ready to help the people of Florida.
The collapse, it happened in Surfside, just north of Miami Beach. You can see the building is oceanfront. It was built in 1981. Here is what we know. One person is confirmed dead, but the mayor of Surfside fears that number will only grow. 99 people are unaccounted for. 102 people are accounted for, so that's good news. In all, there are 136 units, 55 units collapsed. A researcher at Florida International University told USA Today this building was determined to be unstable a year ago and had been sinking since the 1990s. That's according to a 2020 study. No word yet, though, if that is what caused the collapse. We have a team of reporters working on this story today. We begin with Vic Michelucci, who is live in Surfside. Vic?
And there is a lot going on here as the search and rescue continues. Many people are frantic to find out where their loved ones are. Let me step out of the way and show you. We are about 3 blocks north of the complex where the collapse is. We can see that down the road. Obviously, heavy search and rescue process over there. We want to give them their space so that they can do their job as they look for survivors. I literally 2 minutes ago was just speaking with the state of Florida's Chief Fire Marshal, Jimmy Petronas. He said that they are going to search throughout the night. They're bringing in lights. They're bringing in specialized equipment, technology, as well as canines. They are still calling this a search and rescue mission. They still have reason to believe that there could be people alive in the rubble, and certainly they are keeping as optimistic as they can. But he told me there's a lot of danger right now because the remaining part of the building could still collapse. So fire rescue crews are very concerned about that. They are monitoring it as these search and rescue teams continue to go through just 12 stories of concrete, brick, rebar, doors, everything you can imagine which could potentially be on top of people. So let me answer where we are. This behind us is also a very busy area. This is the community center here in the town of Surfside. We're just north of Miami Beach, and this is the Family Reunification Center. It is somber. It is sad to see. People are coming here trying to connect with their loved ones. Some of them have been successful. Many of them have still not found their family members. They could be at the hospital. They could be somewhere else. Some of them have been bused to shelters, to hotel rooms. That's why family members are coming here. They are checking in. Now, for those that don't live in the area, there is also a hotline. There are grief counselors, state workers, as well as Red Cross volunteers trying to reunite everyone and trying to get an accurate list of who was inside at the time of the collapse. Now, I'm going to show you video from that collapse when it happened. I want to warn you, what you're about to see is disturbing. This video from a nearby camera shows the collapse around 1:30 in the morning. A roar in the night followed by a large cloud of dust. Most residents asleep, waking up to a disaster.
It was just horrific. The first thoughts that came to mind were the images of 9/11, just the building being destroyed. Debris everywhere, just a complete and total mess.
Nicholas Balboa is one of many Good Samaritans who jumped in. He says he heard a boy calling out for help.
Then I saw an arm sticking out of the wreckage, and he was screaming, can you see me, and whatnot. So we started to kind of climb up to him, to try and see if we could get him free. but it was too heavy, too much rebar, stuff like that.
Video from before dawn shows firefighters pulling the boy out. He's believed to be 10 years old. They took him out on a stretcher. He was hurt, but awake and alert. Dozens more finding their way out through the darkness.
I look down the hallway, and it's a very long hallway, probably 100 yards, 75 yards, and there was nothing there. It was just a pile of dust and rubble and paint falling from the ceilings.
Helicopter footage shows the size of the disaster. About half of the buildings, 130 units, were affected. This afternoon, Governor Ron DeSantis toured the damage to the 40-year-old building and thanked the rescuers.
They were on that scene before we knew whether there'd be more collapse. We didn't know whether the building had any structural integrity, and they were shepherding people to safety, and they absolutely saved people's lives.
Hundreds of first responders are looking for survivors with heavy machinery, special technology, and canines. They're combing through 12 stories of debris despite strong storms passing through. Local leaders set up a hotline and the Red Cross opening a makeshift shelter for displaced residents and for family members who are coming looking for their loved ones.
It is important that we all rally around the families and the people that are actually suffering so much at this time.
With each passing hour, concern grows as many remain missing, like this family from Argentina. We certainly have seen some of that suffering firsthand. Not only is it hot and chaotic, it is concerning. And people still are coming here not knowing where their loved ones are. It's heartbreaking to watch. About 10 minutes before our show, we saw a young woman get loaded into the back of an ambulance and taken to the hospital. She came out of the Family Reunification Center. People here are tired. Many of them have been up since the middle of the night, and they still don't have any answers. Answers that they hope will let them know that their loved ones are okay as rescue crews continue to search for survivors. We're live in Surfside. I'm Vic Michelucci, Channel 4, the local station.
Vic, a quick question for you. The mayor of Surfside confirmed that roof work was being done, but she said there was no reason for that to be the cause of the building to go down like that.
Yeah, and we really don't want to speculate on the cause right now because the main focus right now is finding out who is inside, finding out how many people are still unaccounted for, and saving every single person or pet that may still be in that rubble. I spoke to Chief Fire Marshal Jimmy Petronas, and he said that his fire crews just recently did hear some noise. So that points to the sign that there could be somebody or an animal alive in there. They're going to literally leave no stone unturned. But let's give you some history on that background on that building. We know that it was built in 1981, so it was 40 years old. Roof work was being done, and we heard from one man who's a resident there that said he was very concerned because there was beating, there was pounding, there was hammering, and he actually raised concerns to the Condos Management Association saying, I'm worried about the structural integrity here. They're really shaking this building. Again, no confirmation. The governor has said that he has engineers and investigators that are going to get to the bottom of what happened here. But the very first thing is to find anyone and any pet that may still be living.
All right, Vic Michelucci, we appreciate your live report there, live in South Florida.
And as we mentioned, 99 people are still unaccounted for. We showed you this photo of a family from Argentina. They were vacationing in Surfside and staying at a friend's condo. And this woman is walking around with a photo of her aunt, who is also missing from the collapse. News4JAX reporter Joe McLean continues our coverage now. And Joe, you talked to a woman who lives across the street from the collapsed building. She described what she heard.
Right. It was certainly a rude awakening for Fiorella Terenzi, who lives just one building away from this collapse. She said she was shaken out of her sleep early this morning as that building came down. She got some of the first images of that building after it collapsed. She said she's still in shock. A nearby security camera captured the moments when a wing of the Champlain Tower South building in Surfside collapsed into rubble.
I was sleeping. I heard a very loud sound, really sounded like a thundering. I was waiting for the lighting, but the sound was a little bit too metallic. was a strange sound.
That's Fiorella Terenzi, who lived just one building away from the Champlain Tower South for the last 20 years and would often interact with its residents.
And every morning I wave hi to the person doing yoga on the balcony, to the elderly woman with a walker on the balcony.
After hearing the thundering sound around 1:30 this morning, she ran outside and captured these images. Some of the first images after the building came down. Terenzi's friend, who lives in the South Tower but didn't want to be identified, sent us this photo from inside his hallway as he tried to escape the portion of the building that was still standing, trapped by debris, but he was later rescued from the balcony. For Terenzi, her mind is fixed on those still missing, hoping that her friends next door are safe.
And that is exactly the picture that is imprinted in my mind, putting the chair outside on the balcony, the cup of coffee, the yoga, the elderly woman with the helper and the walker. That is the image, and that's what I'm waiting for, to understand where are my friends.
Hoping her friends are safe tonight. And Terenzi also said the power in her building has been out since early this morning. They shut it off. She said, I checked with her in just the last 15 minutes. She said it's still off tonight. She's waiting for that to come back on, but obviously more eagerly waiting to hear about her friends next door. Reporting live, I'm Joe McLean, Channel 4, the local station.